Hello, everybody. This is Ronald Rich here. Doing the Astro-Creep 13 thing, plus Friday night drinking music. Astro-Creep 13, or I guess it's just Astro-Creep. It's Chris Hanson. He's changed his YouTube channel name again, and he's celebrating 13 subs. I'm going to leave a link. Sub the guy. He makes some really good videos when he does make them. And he wants you to show a record with 13 on the cover. And I chose 13th Floor Elevators with their third album called Live. It's actually not live as far as I know. I believe it is just demos. And they added in a little bit of crowd noise. Fantastic album. It's not as good as their second album or their first album, but it is really good. And then the only one I don't have by them is the one that came out after that, something Bull. And I got another record here with 13 on the cover, and it's Pebbles Volume 13. Really cool comp. Pretty cool series. There's like 28 of these. I don't have them all, but this is a really cool cover too. Now he also wants you to show a movie that came out in the year you were 13. And I'm showing Frankenstein, man. Probably the best movie that came out when I was 13. Fantastic. This is a little box set with about 6 movies on it. Bride of Frankenstein 2, also great. And he wants you to show a record that came out the year you were 13. I don't have any. I don't even know if they were making records when I was 13. Well, I've been listening to 78 albums, and I needed a break. You know, I picked my 10. I have the order. I was gonna do that video today, and I can't find one of them. But anyways, I kind of needed a break from that 70s, you know, stuff. And last night, I told my wife, "Hey, do you need anything from the store? I'm gonna go get some beer." And she goes, "Beer?" I haven't had a beer since the Doctor and Kid stream. So yeah, I'm going to go get a couple of beers. So I came back, locked myself in the room, and I listened to some music just to get away from that 70s crap. First one I listened to was Assault and Battery. It's 14 tracks. It's a demo. It was never officially released. Guess this came out in 2020. And apparently they went into the studio, recorded these 14 tracks. They were given a original tape, and I think they made a cassette. And then from that cassette, they made copies, and then copies upon copies, and bootlegs were made. And finally, the official release. Washington, D.C. band, really cool. Featuring members from Government Issue, Artificial Peace, Marginal Man, and Savage Beliefs. Really cool. It's got Steve Polsari on vocals. I forget what band he went to. And this is what the sleeve looks like. Has a brief but pretty cool write-up on the band. The next one I put on the turntable was Gerbils, Dead Detroit. This is Lost 1982 recordings, and I guess I should have said this was recorded in 81, May of 81, in one sitting. This is 82. This is another punk band. This is a little rougher than that other demo. The singer does play synthesizers, so there's a couple of songs where the synthesizer comes in from nowhere. But overall, it's a really good record. And this came out recently, 2015. I saw this on Dead Wax 66 channel when he used to make videos. And this is what that record looks like. Now, maybe my favorite of the bunch. This was actually came out in 79. So this is in contention for my best of 79. And it's The Mentally Ill. All of these are really raw sounding records. But this may be the rawest of the raw. I mean, it does have kind of a rudimentary Peni feel to it, But the guitars, it sounds like the amplifier, the amps he's playing out of, the woofers are all cracked, and he's playing with a rusty metal guitar pick. Just fantastic. This one's signed. Martin Jones went and saw them, picked this up for me. This is number 29 out of 100. Just a fantastic, raw as hell, a mess of a record, but I love it. And this is what that record looks like. Oh, and it's on colored vinyl. Can't disappoint, because this is the colored vinyl Richie show. Another demo tape. This is a 1983 demo tape from a band from Toronto. Now, these guys were really young when they, and I think it was because of their age, they didn't quite get the respect, maybe. Or maybe I'm thinking of another band, Chronic Submission, I don't know. But yeah, this is really good all the way through. Just a bunch of songs blazing through. And it just picked up my spirits. Micro Edge on Ugly Pop Records, 2019. And this one actually came with a little skateboard fanzine. It's all skateboard related stuff. Even got crosswords. And it's got a pretty cool write-up here by Dave, I believe the drummer of the band. And that's what that one looks like. Yeah. Couldn't tell what was right side up. Now, a more recent band, and I found out about this band from Ryan Kidd, and it's Blowers. This is a mess. It's really raw. I believe they're from Australia. A lot of bands coming out of Australia now. And Ryan Kidd seems to be on an Australian kick. And it's just a mess, man. It's just very raw, just all distorted, and just, it's like, it's almost like G.G. Allen in the mid-'80s. You know, they don't give a shit what it sounds like. And, Hate That Shit was featured in a Stevie's vinyl recently. Yeah, really cool stuff. And the Blowers look like that. The next one I played was one that maybe more people are aware of. And it's the Gories, what's it called? House Rockin'. This is a reissue on Crypt Records. Gatefold. I don't know if the originals were a gatefold. This is more in the vein of the Sonics, you know, that early 60s. And even Howlin' Wolf, you know, that really raw, good rockin' and bluesy. Really cool record, man. And it's on the beautiful Crypt Records label. Now, the next one I played is actually a Record Store Day record, and it's Green Day. I mean, Green River. I did that on purpose. This is recorded live in Olympia, Washington, September 28th, 1984. It's got Mark Arm from Mudhoney is singing, and it sounds like Mudhoney at points, but not as good. It's got two members from Pearl Jam, two members from Mudhoney, famous band. I would like to get some of their studio stuff. This, though it sounded like Mudhoney at times, I don't think it was quite as good. And there was one part, I think it's after the song New God. I guess the guitar player, Steve Goddard or whatever, he broke a guitar string, and Mark Arm tells the sound guy, you know, you can stop the tape. But he didn't stop the tape, and it goes on for like 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes of just mumbo jumbo. They do a really good version of Strange Ways on the second side. It's a Kiss cover of all things. Pretty good. Probably my least favorite of all these that I listened to. It's a live album. The sound is pretty decent. But I thought, you know, after that, I need to clean my plate. And I pulled out a classic, one of my go-to bands, one of my favorite bands from the late 80s. and 90s. And it's L7, Smell the Magic EP. Just fantastic. Just 6 great songs, and it's just, they're so good, man. I love L7. And I need to do an L7 video. And that's what the label looks like. Smell 7. I think this might be Australian or some shit. I don't know. And finally, I had to listen to the Stains. I haven't heard this in quite a while. Somebody mentioned this when I did my 10 most expensive records, which was kind of a joke. I mean, I don't know what my 10 most expensive records are. And they said, "Oh, I think Stains might be, one of your most expensive." And they're right. I looked it up, and man, they're going for lots. Great band out of East LA. There's some East LA. There's a series of videos. East LA bands 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're featured on one of the videos. And then I watched another video, and it was like the guy going on about the gangs of LA punk, and it was totally way overblown. And this band was even mentioned. This band did not have a gang following. Come on, man. They were playing 70s gigs with Black Flag and all the other bands. This was recorded, I believe, in 1980. It didn't get released till 83, though. And they think there's Greg Ginn kind of was going in the direction of this band, and he kind of didn't want to give them credit, I guess. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, take care, everybody. Astro-Creep 13. I'll leave a link.